Welcome to July's meditation on healing the energy of your wallet, your credit cards, and the apps that you pay with. This meditation is going to be short, so it's not like it's going to solve all your money problems, but by clearing out the energy that's held in these spaces, it can really help you to not overspend. When you make purchases, doesn't matter where it is, whether it's online or in a store, money can stick in those spaces. So say you walk in and a salesperson sizes you up and you buy some things and maybe they plug into your space to get you to spend more, or they're judging how you spend. That can literally sit in your credit cards, whether it's in person, online, or an app that you pay with. They can program you to spend more. You've probably experienced it as well, being at a place where you might have bought something that you weren't even going to actually buy because you got programmed by that salesperson. But know that that energy can sit in your the cards and the medium that you use to pay with. So by clearing that, that will help you to have more seniority in the space so that you can make the choices you want to make. And you might think about this: if you've ever gone out and spent a lot of money, used your card, and I know we use apps more now, so it's really kind of the same thing. And then you kind of get on a spending spree, like I want to go out and spend more. That's probably because that energy got programmed into that space to get you to spend more. So how we're going to do this is we'll get grounded first, and then we will use our screen, that reading screen, and I'll walk you through the basic tools. I know that you both have done this before, but in case somebody's listening on replay and hasn't done this, I'm going to walk you through creating that reading screen, creating the symbol, and we're going to look at the energy in one symbol first for apps, wallet, credit cards, and then ground that. I'll have you release specific energies, and then I'm going to have you ground your wallet separately and your credit cards. And you can even put a grounding cord on your phone if it's with you. If not, you can do it later, but just to get that energy out of your space. And maybe you do computer shopping. It could be grounding your computer. And then what I will say right here before we start, so you don't forget, is when we're done, or at some point over the next couple of days, you might want to take something to clean the credit cards off. Like I will take wipes, disinfectant wipes, as long as it doesn't damage your card, and I'll clear the energy off the actual cards. I'm always cleaning my phone anyway, especially because of COVID. But and then wiping down your purse. You don't want to discolor your purse with a wipe, but even wiping it down with something wet to clear that energy. And I tell you, you'll feel the difference when your purse or your wallet's cleaner. It literally feels different. So we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll walk you through the process. So just take a couple of deep breaths and relax. Make sure your back's straight, feet flat on the floor, chin level. Close your eyes. Give yourself this next half an hour to let go of the demands and just enjoy your healing. First of all, tune into where your energy is around you. Is your energy spread out really far around you, especially if you've had a busy day, you just came from a meeting? Pull your energy back in around you, and you can do that by scooping it in around you. What I'm asking you to do is pull your aura back in around you. So you can imagine pulling it in on all sides, 360 around you till it's about 2 feet on all sides. It's ideally where you want your aura to be. If you have a current grounding cord, release it and allow it to retract into the center of the planet. I just unhook it. Mine just kind of falls into the center of the planet, and then I just kind of watch it disintegrate where it recycles. It turns back into neutral energy. Go ahead and create a new one in present time. And how you create that grounding cord is by making that line of energy from the base of your spine. That's close enough to your root chakra, because you're going to expand it out anyway. So if it's not exactly at your root chakra, that's okay. You're going to imagine a line of energy from that space. Could be a hollow tube, a giant tree trunk. You imagine it hooking in, velcroing in, gluing, taping it to that root chakra at the base of your spine. and allow that image to go through the layers of the planet without overthinking it. So it's going to go through the floor beneath you, down through the rocks and the gravel and the layers, and it's going to plug firmly into the center of the planet. And kind of imagine that you can look at that connection in the center of the planet. Is it actually grounded? Is it kind of grounded, but you can't really get it to ground, or it's kind of popping up in places? You can imagine you nailing it into the center of the planet. You could, again, glue it. You could tie it to a rock, anything that'll get it to anchor into the center of the planet, so that when you choose to release energies, gravity pulls those energies out of a space, out of your body, flows down through that grounding cord into the center of the planet where that energy gets recycled. But before we start the release, one great thing to do is to see if you can expand that grounding cord out. So once you make that connection and it's firmly attached, you can imagine plucking your grounding cord like you're plucking a guitar string, making sure it's tight. If it's loose, it probably won't work as well at releasing energy. Start feeling that suction pulling, like about 35% gravitational pull. And as it's kind of tugging on your body, imagine expanding that out, that grounding cord out to encompass your hips. It will be as wide at your hips as it is in the center and into the center of the planet. So I'll give you a moment to expand that, and don't overthink it. Just watch it expand. And gravity is already working to pull energies off of your body, but I'm going to point out some specific ones to look for. And because there's so much highly charged energy right now that's putting people in male and female bodies in pain around the Supreme Court rulings, Roe v. Wade, the EPA, and I'm working with a lot of clients who are incredibly lit up in pain pictures. So tune into your body, breathe. Where are you holding on to these pain pictures? It could be about your rights being taken away, feeling taken advantage of, feeling like we're going backwards, sadness, unfairness. With a breath, tune into your body. Where do you feel that? And allow gravity to start to pull that out of your body. Let it flow down that grounding cord into the center of the planet. Think about the fear pictures. What does this mean? Especially if you have daughters, what does this mean for them? So get out of the pain pictures that you might be feeling for your daughters. That could be daughters, sisters, anybody. And especially if you're in a female body, where you really might want to focus in on is your female triangle. And I say that because this is about, part of this is about reproductive rights. I'm not making this political. I'm just trying to help people release the energy that I see in most of my clients who have a female body. I can feel where they're holding a lot of this energy. So think about that female triangle, your uterus, and imagine that some of that pain is coming out of that space. And you might also tune into the energy of male control. So allow gravity to pull the energy around male control out of your female space. Now, that's just a quick grounding. You can do more of that on your own. Right now, I'd like you to create the image of a warm golden sun above your head, because that's how we collect up our energy that's been left out in the world. So with creating a visual of a large warm golden sun sitting above your head, imagine that your energy is coming back into that sun. It's either magnetized into that sun or it's coming in like a vapor. Think about where you've left your energy over the past week. If you haven't collected up energy in a while, you may need to go out to the last month. And if you don't do it often, you might have to go months or years. But right now, just look for where your energy's been left over the past week. Postulate that it's magnetized back into that sun above your head. Pull it out of projects at work, pull it out of people's spaces where you, or if you have kids, you might have put some of your energy in your kids' space, partner space. Bring that sun in through the top of your head and fill yourself in. So you bring that sun in through the top of your head and you start to saturate all your cells and organs. So from the tips of your toes, up your legs, saturating yourself like you were a dehydrated sponge that's getting rehydrated, your cells and organs to soak up that vital life force energy that's yours. That's a quick release and replenish. So I suggest you taking longer when you're doing that on your own. Okay, good job. We're going to start doing healing the energy around the wallet, credit cards, and apps you use to pay with. So in order to look at energy, you need a place to view it. So for those of you who know how to create the image of a reading screen, you can go ahead and do that. If you're new to this, out in front of you, about a foot, imagine that you can create a white blank screen. Just like you need a computer to read information or look at information, you need to create a place to view energy clairvoyantly. So you make a large white blank screen about a foot in front of your head. And in order to keep that screen in place, you create a grounding cord, just like you did on your body. It's just you're attaching like a hollow tube or a pipe to the bottom of that reading screen, goes down through the layers of the planet, plugs into the crystalline core. So this is how clairvoyants read energy. They read them out in front of them in symbols. So in order to look at the energy around this, the apps, the credit cards, the wallet, we're going to create one symbol to encompass all of those different payment methods. So that symbol is a clear bubble, like a clear soap bubble. So on that screen, create the visual of a clear soap bubble. And in order for energies that you're going to look for to be able to release, you need to make one more grounding cord. And that's a grounding cord at the base of the bubble, runs down through the layers of the planet and plugs into the crystalline core. So you have a grounding cord on your body, you have one on your reading screen, and you have one on that symbol in front of you on your screen. Now I want you to postulate that the energy held around judgments around your credit cards and the programming in that space. So credit cards, wallet, and apps, I want you to postulate that that energy is held in that bubble. So it's like almost sending a little bit of that, like if you put a pinch of salt in a bowl of soup, it's like you're almost putting a pinch of that energy into this bubble. And as you postulate that the energy held around judgments and programming in these apps and your wallet, credit cards, postulate that that goes into that space, and you'll probably start to see textures and colors show up. because that's how we read energy in textures and colors. Energy's held in textures and colors. So as you look at this space, what do you see? Are you seeing dark textures and colors? Things that you're like, ooh, I know that doesn't belong there. That's not a color I like. It could be black, brown, something like a lower vibrational color. And you also might see it as a texture, like a blob, a dot. It could look like anything. So if you're seeing these dark textures and colors in the space, that's foreign energy that you want to clear. If you're not seeing anything, that's okay. I'll walk you through specific ways to look at this so that it may show up. So taking a neutral look at this, what do you see? In order to get it to release down the grounding cord, all you have to do is say hello to it, like mentally, hello, color, texture, I see you. I know you don't belong. And then watch gravity without effort, pull that energy out of that bubble, down the grounding cord, all the way to the center of the planet. And after you give it this, kind of like an overall healing, you can even ask what percentage of foreign energy in this space is controlling my purchases. That would be a great question to ask. How much are you being programmed, or how much of this energy that's collected up in the space is programming me to spend? And that could come from anybody, vendors, retailers, maybe you have a friend that programs you to spend so that you spend all your money. It could be anybody. When you get that number, then you know that there's a percentage still to clear. So I'm going to ask you to look for some specific energies. First of all, in that bubble, I want you to ask the bubble, because you can talk to symbols and get answers. If that doesn't happen right away, it's just something that you practice and you get better at. So I'm going to ask you to look for the energy in this bubble held around your credit cards, singling them out first. So ask the bubble, show me the energy that's held around judgments and programming in my credit cards. Whatever you see, start to release it down the grounding cord. You might even know of a specific place where you spend a lot of money, where you feel like you're being programmed to go back. You could actually release that specific vendor or store out of your credit cards, out of this space. I want you to look for people in this space too, people you know, friends, family. Those people can make judgments about how you spend your money. You might see a person in there. So send them down the grounding cord. And if you've had past debt, and that might have some guilt and shame in it, be sure to release this side of the space. You may not have debt around credit cards now, but perhaps you had it before. So if there's any energy of past debt in those credit cards, release it. Okay. Well, I'll give you a moment too. If there's anything else you know that you need to clear out of the credit cards that I didn't mention, I'll give you a few seconds here to release anything else that I may have missed that's specific to you. And every time you release layers, you might start to see a lightness in this space. Um, the energy could be feeling lighter as you're releasing that kind of that burden out of this space. Now I want you to ask the bubble to show you the energy held around judgments and programming in your wallet. So look again for any textures or colors that are being illuminated in that space. All it takes is somebody next to you in a store who might be struggling paying bills, and here you open up your wallet and pay with a card, and they can throw judgments in your wallet. So it really can come from anywhere. So be sure to look for people, judgments, programming, and then again, any guilt or shame in the space around your money or how you spend your money. And I'll give you a moment to work that space around your wallet. If you have kids, they may try to program you to buy things for them. So you might want to release your kids and your if you have a partner, out of your wallet as well. Okay, now you're going to look for the energy in this bubble around the apps you use. So it could be, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo. I know there's a lot of other apps. Those are a few that I know of. You could also, when you go on Amazon, your credit card, which you already cleared, but it still could be in some of those spaces. So I want you to look or postulate that the energy that's being programmed to get you to spend, because we know how Amazon works. You look up one thing and then you keep getting this flood of information of like, have you bought this? Do you want to buy it? So we want to really pull out the judgments and the programming around apps, online shopping. So look in that space, and you could even ask what percentage are there either judgments or programming to get you to spend more. And that might be shocking. So whatever you see, release it. And if anybody else has access to your apps, you might want to ground their energy out as well. Could be a family member. Remember any guilt or shame about where you might have overspent or that buyer's remorse? Okay, so start to look at this bubble. How does it look? Is it looking clear? You can ask what percentage do you still need to clear energy out of this space? You can go back and work the tool again, but you may find it different after you ground your actual individual items. So whether you have the items with you, say sitting around next to you, which you've brought with you, but if you're listening to this on replay, and you don't have them with you, you can just visualize the grounding cord attached to each of these because we're going to ground them individually. But I want to say this as well. When you ground things like your phone, because there might be judgments about how you pay with your phone or your credit cards or your wallet, it's just good to keep it grounded anyway. Not only does it help you to keep seniority in those spaces, but it also helps, say if you're traveling, it also, or not even traveling, just if you're out and about, it helps you to keep your items with you. So they're either not lost or stolen. So when I'm traveling, especially, I'm always grounding each of my items and anything important. So we're going to leave the bubble here for a moment, because if you just got a percentage of how much you still need to clear, we're going to ground these items, and then you can go back and see if that helped lighten or lessen what foreign energies in that space. So if you imagine out in front of you, you have your wallet. If you need to take your credit cards out, you can take your credit cards out and lay them, along the your table or in front of you. Or you just do this in your mental image. You imagine attaching a grounding cord to the base of your wallet. So just as your wallet's laying there, put a hollow tube into the bottom of the wallet in a visual. Run that hollow tube, which is a grounding cord, into the center of the planet. And start to release that foreign energy out of this space. That again is judgments. It could be from vendors, people you know, family, and any programming about how you spend, how you should spend. Let that energy come off that wallet, flow down the grounding cord into the center of the planet. Okay, and then however many credit cards you have, debit, credit, imagine a grounding cord. If it's laying there on a table, so from the base or the underside of that credit card, I want you to create a grounding cord on each of them and start to release off the judgments and the programming. And if there was any debt on any of those, if there's current debt or if there was old debt on them, release the energy around debt, around obligation to the banking institution, and also any shame or guilt. And you can go back and do this again. We'll keep moving forward. Now imagine from the base of your computer screen where maybe you do some online shopping, or from the base of your phone or the underside of your phone, go ahead and add a grounding cord to release the energy around how you pay online and any apps you use. Okay, now I want you to look back at the bubble on your screen and ask what percentage there is still foreign energy for you to clear out of these spaces. So you can do one last flush of energy, asking if, seeing what other percentage you can get out of that space. So look for any residual textures or colors, release them. And then we want to fill that space up with a higher vibration. So imagine above that bubble on your screen, you postulate that you are going to put the energies of your seniority back in your space. So you want to be senior in these spaces, say with credit cards, apps, your wallet. You want to be the senior person in that space making the decisions. So into that sun above the bubble, add the energy of seniority, maybe some protection. I would add some energies, add some energies of any high vibration that makes you feel like you are senior in that space. Ownership could be one. We want you to be senior, so it's your choice. Okay, bring that golden sun in through that bubble, and that energy of the golden sun will help ground your credit cards, apps, wallet. When you're done, you can take an imaginary pin and pop that bubble to disperse the energy. Okay, you could always fill your wallet, with the golden sun. You could fill your phone, your computer, your credit cards. We did it on the screen, but you can do it separately as well if you like. And now I want you to create a large, warm golden sun above your head and collect up your energy back that maybe had gotten loosened up in some pain pictures or some energy around your money. So what that looks like is creating the image of a warm golden sun above your head and imagining that your energy that was stuck in any old pictures around money or overspending, that comes back into the sun above your head. Bring that sun in through the top of your head and fill yourself in. And remember, this is where you take your time, saturating all your cells and organs. And then create one more golden sun. And in this second golden sun above your head, you can add energies that you'd like for either the rest of the week, or it could be for the rest of the month. Energies like seniority, freedom, Maybe you want some ease in your life. Maybe you need some humor and amusement. Just fill that golden sun up with all sorts of energies. You can see them as words written in gold or just as thoughts or postulates that they float into the sun above your head. And this is how you set the energy for what you want to experience, whether it's for later on tonight, whether it's for just a day tomorrow, or for anything you want to create, right? It's a great way to set the energy. You do that in the sun with all those wonderful energies you want to create with. Bring that sun in through the top of your head, saturating all your cells and organs from the tips of your toes to your fingertips to the top of your head. And you can run some of that golden energy mixed with those postulates all the way down your grounding cord. So you're gold, vibrating at all those energies from the center of the planet to the top of your head. And when you're ready, take a couple of deep breaths and come out of trance. Okay, thank you for being here tonight. I wish you a great month ahead. Good night.